though, for that. But Stephen A., we know what will be pivotal to winning this series, and that's obviously Game 4. Who do you think is winning it?
Well, I'm going to go with my Knicks because I think it's urgent. They could possibly lose a Game 5 at the Garden, considering how they've played at MSG compared to how they've looked on the road.
Hopefully my audio sounds fine today. Hello, can you hear me? Hi, Mom. We've been having some technical difficulties for a while now, so hopefully that's good. Marcus, Markieff, you guys look so similar. It's crazy. Stephen A., everybody knows you're a diehard Knicks fan, and I appreciate you being reasonable about this whole situation. I don't know if it's a must-win game for your Knicks, but if they don't win this and they go down 3-1, I think they're in big trouble. And I do find it kind of weird that they've struggled at MSG so far this postseason, and they've won big games on the road, like Game 3 in Indiana. They beat the Celtics a couple times on the road, who I thought were the best team in the NBA. I thought they were going to win the championship. Obviously, that's impossible now. But it is just a little strange the way that the Knicks have been playing at home compared to being on the road.
I think it's one of those situations where Rick Carlisle, I think he's going to look at things that he could have done better, and I think he's going to make the necessary adjustments because he's a Hall of Fame caliber coach. And I think some of the mistakes that you saw Indiana making yesterday, I don't think that's going to be the case in Game 4. And the New York Knicks are going to have to bring something close to their A game in order to walk away with a victory.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rick Carlisle was a fantastic coach, and I think this Pacers team is going to look a lot different in Game 4 than it did in Game 3, especially late in the fourth quarter, because we all know the game's going to be close. It's going to come down to the last couple possessions, and I think some of the mistakes they made late in Game 3 aren't going to happen in Game 4. I believe that Carlisle is going to put together a good plan, have a good talk with his team if he hasn't already, and I think we're going to see a couple little tweaks and changes. Maybe not in the lineup, but maybe in the strategy as we head into the fourth quarter and in those late game situations. So I believe that the Pacers are going to come ready to play in this Game 4, and they're going to play smarter than they did in Game 3. And you said the Knicks are going to have to bring something close to their A game to win this game. I think they're going to have to bring their A game, maybe an A+ game. I mean, the Pacers, that was just a brutal loss in Game 3. Like I said, they're going to come out hot, fast, ready to win this game. I don't think we've even seen the Knicks at their A game in this entire series. Maybe against the Celtics, they were playing really well, especially in those multiple 20-point comeback wins. But I think the Knicks have to show up big in this game. They have to be ready to start the game, really physical, try to be able to keep up with the Pacers' speed. I don't think anything less than an A game is going to work out well for the Knicks. They have to play maybe their best game that they've played all season to win this game and try to even up the series.
If you look at the numbers, and I'm not a number guy, but 6-1 on the road is impressive. It's impressive. So that means to me, that says to me that they're not rattled by being in Indiana, right? And Jalen Brunson only played 30 minutes, Cat only played 33 minutes. So that actually they got a little bit more rest than what they normally would get because they're 40-minute guys under Thibs, right?
Marcus, Markieff, whoever you are, I agree with you. I don't think the Knicks are rattled by playing in other opponents' arenas. We saw them play well in Boston. Obviously, they played good enough versus the Pacers in Game 3 to win that. But I don't think we've seen the Knicks' best ball yet. And like I said earlier, they're going to have to be at the top of their game to advance in this series, let alone tie it up. I mean, the Knicks are used to playing in front of some of the craziest fans in all of sports whenever they play at the Garden. So I don't think being away has that much of a detriment on their team to say. And as far as what you're saying about Brunson and Cat, them spending more minutes on the bench, maybe Thibs kind of figured out that, like, okay, I can sit my guys for more than 1 to 2 minutes a game and still be successful. So I think it's going to come down to the bench once again, who played pretty well in Game 3. We saw Mitchell Robinson. He climbed up a lot of people's ladders since Game 1 of this series, really going back to Boston. But maybe Thibs figured out that he can use his bench a little bit more, and he doesn't have to play his starters 46 to 47 minutes every game.
The question is, does Thibs trust his bench again? Like, will he be able to get his bench to play like they played last?
I mean, that really is the big question. Can Thibs trust his bench to play well again? It played well in Game 3. Honestly, going back before the season, whenever the Knicks got rid of Dante DiVincenzo and signed Landry Shamet, I thought he would fill in nicely there. Obviously, Thibs doesn't use his bench a whole lot, so we didn't get to see a whole lot out of Landry Shamet. I think he played decent in Game 3. Miles McBride has been really good all series for the Knicks. I think he is the best plus-minus on this team right now. Mitchell Robinson, who got the start last game, but he's kind of a bench player. I mean, they don't go really any deeper than that. I was watching the first quarter of Game 3 saw a guy with long dreadlocks. I don't remember what number he was, but he was running around, and I was like, who is that guy? DeLon Wright, an NBA veteran. I mean, I think he deserves to get some minutes, especially if Brunson gets in foul trouble or he gets on a little bit of a cold streak. And I think Game 3 proved that Thibs should trust his bench. So it's going to be very interesting to see in Game 4 and Game 5 how he attacks the game plan and strategy with actually giving his starters some rest and bringing in some of those guys off the bench, like McBride, who I think deserves the most minutes off the bench. I think they should still start Mitchell Robinson, bring Josh Hart off the bench because he's still a good player. They should still be confident in him. Landry Shamet, he's a good three-point shooter. Same with Deuce McBride. So that really is the big question. How much is Thibs willing to trust his bench going into a very critical Game 4 in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Don't get me wrong. Let's understand that Cat's got to play well. Brunson can't be in foul trouble. You can't beat Indiana replicating what transpired in Game 3.
Stephen A., again, being very reasonable about this whole situation. I completely 100% agree with you that the Knicks cannot replicate what they did last game and win in this Game 4. I don't know if it was luck that they ended up winning that game, but for them to be able to have Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and a couple other guys in major foul trouble and still win that game is amazing for them, but I don't think that can happen again. I mean, Cat had 3 fouls in the first half, and the Knicks were still able to pull away with the win. Towns did explode in the fourth quarter. He went zesty all over the Pacers, but I don't think that can happen again, even though the bench played well in Game 3, like I just said. I don't know if they're going to be able to replicate that in Game 4, especially the way that the Pacers are going to come after them in this game. I think the Pacers are going to try to get them in foul trouble again, just to cause some problems in that lineup and force Thibs to make some very crucial decisions using his bench. But like you said, the Knicks just can't get into that situation again because I think that will be very bad for them. And I think in this Game 4, if that happens again, the Pacers will definitely take advantage of that.
If the Knicks don't come back and win this series, do you feel like he's on the hot seat?
That's a tough one because I know New York loves
Stephen
Nick.
A. said
Look,
yes.
do I think Thibs should be on the hot seat? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I mean, what he did with this team really is incredible, bringing them to the Eastern Conference Finals. But 4 out of the last 6 champion-winning coaches have been fired, and Budenholzer, Nick Nurse, Frank Vogel, and I think the most surprising one was Mike Malone, especially because it was only a couple days before the playoffs started, and that team was really good. So I don't know if he deserves to be on the hot seat, but I kind of think he is. I mean, obviously, if he wins a championship, that still doesn't save him from being fired, but I think if they lose 2 more games and they go out 4-1 to the Pacers, I think he should be worried about his job. I know Knicks fans usually like him. They get frustrated with him at times, but I mean, he believes he's doing the right thing. This Knicks team has been successful the last 2 years. Last year, they dealt with a lot of injuries in the playoffs, still kind of made it close, but I mean, this year, the best year they've had in 25, 30 years, whatever it's been. I don't think he deserves to get fired. I think he should get another chance going into next year. But again, even if he wins this series, wins the championship, he's not safe from being fired. But I think he's doing a really good job with his team. And I think the one thing that will keep him safe, even if he does win the championship or at least this round, is if he utilizes his bench properly and they make it out of this series with those bench guys contributing a lot. I think he'll be safe because that shows his ability to make adjustments, especially coming back from a series deficit to the Pacers. I mean, they beat the Boston Celtics, for crying out loud. Nobody really thought that was going to happen. I mean, the Celtics' odds to win that series were ginormous going into that series. So I think him at least beating the Celtics gave him a little bit of a security blanket. I think he'll be fine going into the offseason. I think he'll be the coach of the Knicks next year. But unfortunately, I don't think I can rule out a firing of Tom Thibodeau going into next year. Who would be the next Knicks head coach? I have no idea, but I'm pretty confident in saying that I think Thibs will be secure in having the Knicks head coaching job going into next year.